I wanted to do a video about the transition from a beginning as a beginner with sort of a stick form in the Tai Chi to intermediate and advanced, and the steps along the way and the changes to the form. I've noticed that the Yang style taught by Mr. Moy, there's nobody that's done that progression at least on YouTube or videos, as far as I've found. So it's something that I'm interested in, and over my 44 years has changed immensely. And there was various stages along the way, and at this point, it's so long ago, I really only tend to remember them when I access a layer with different students working on different aspects. So it's, starting with a very roughed in form, very mechanical. And then we start, once you sort of know the form enough to be able to pay attention to other aspects of it, you can start sitting. It sort of happens along the way, but officially in the beginning of intermediate class, they would have you doing sitting, and then figuring out the range of the limbs, the weight shifting from the front to the back, the stances, the turn, a little bit more awareness of when you're turning in the kicks, and just becoming aware of balance, things like that, simple things. And as you progress and the more time you spend, the easier it gets to perceive more of what's going on within your body and in your movement. So what we do is focus on certain aspects, like the weight shift is a big one. And then feeling how the positioning, for example, of the shoulder, where it's blocked and you feel how the muscles feel in the shoulder, or when it's dropped into place. I really like the experience of the sweet spot. The sweet spot comes when you've completed the move and you sink in, and it allows the skeleton to align. So it's what you would use, for example, in a stone wall. The sweet spot gets used in stone wall in push hands. If you want to let someone push on you and you just absorb all their push through the structure. There's also, you learn how to reset your push. Even though someone's pushing on you, you can throw them. These are some of the things that help you understand your structure and where your blockages are and where you're holding yourself wrong. So push hands is great for that. So I really like to introduce push hands early. And then we also do standing zheng, standing meditation. This helps introduce awareness of qi. So it's multi-layered. So I'd like to do short videos, clips of each section from beginning to what I consider to be advanced. The advanced stuff, not so many people get there, but it's very interesting. So that's what I'd like to do. We're going to do a short video. It's really hard for me to remember how to do the form, making it look like a stick. I think hands go up and down like that. And then, let's do it sideways. Hands go up and down like that. You turn, then step, grasp bird's tail. Really bad. So the beauty of Tai Chi is you experience when there's a sense of flow and a complete connectedness through the whole form. So I feel this from the toes to the top of my head. And there's a sense of connectedness, all the joints, tendons, ligaments. So it's sort of the opposite of how you start out, which was badly exaggerated because I just can't not be connected. Okay, so then, after you've done stick form for a while, you start to put sitting in the form. So, brush knee is a good one. When you're doing the kicks, you sink, sit, step. So we start getting an up and down movement, which starts opening the base of the spine, like you get when you do Toyu, or sorry, Tanyu. You start creating flexibility in the spine. Now, then there's more turning. The turning starts to affect the internal organs because they're attached to the spine, and as you're turning, they start having some movement. The next section, so you practice stick form to get the movements, and then usually in the process of learning the form, it doesn't look as bad. Your hands up and down has a little bit more connectedness in it. And then you go to sitting into the inside hip, which drops the pelvis, extends the spine, gives you a really nice stretch, and gives you quite a bit more reach. So if I was doing normal stopping the hip, my punch would stop here. If I drop into this hip and extend, I have that much more reach. Now, you would never use that unless your opponent was off balance already, because then they can hang on you and pull. But if you got them going and it just gives that extra jolt. And this again, that sinking and stepping, it's sinking into this hip, starts affecting the internal organs more and the spine. So there's a stretching of the upper spine. It just, so like your 6 months to rough it in, 6 months of learning sitting in the form, opening, improving your snakes, and then you start, things start changing on their own. It's like you can't really separate and say this happens and this happens. It sort of all starts to happen. For some people it happens very quickly because they just really good mimics, or they get a sense of the feeling of the movement from the teacher. Other people, it's hard work. Okay.